and more young people are being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Actor Chadwick Boseman's death from the disease at just 43 years old has helped bring attention to what's happening, as well as the fact that young people especially need to know their family medical history. Insurance likely won't pay for a colonoscopy until 45 years old, but getting checked earlier could save lives. In today's Living Connected segment, the story about how one man who lost his son to the disease is on a mission to cut the number way down.
This is really scary. And when you get into the depths of it and you see the number of people this is happening to, 25, 26. Met a lady down here, her daughter died at 28 from complications associated with colorectal cancer.
Michael Frierson says he always thought colorectal cancer was an older person's disease until his own son, Michael Joffrey Frierson's battle.
Michael was diagnosed at age 32. By the time he was 37, he had passed.
It all started with Michael Joffrey simply feeling out of shape.
We normally would go to the beach, run on the beach, for about maybe 4 or 5 miles, walk 4 or 5 miles and, get it in pretty good. He couldn't run 10 yards. I mean, literally, he ran 10 yards and he was gasping for breath. They
both knew something was wrong. After a series of misdiagnoses and ineffective treatments, Michael was advised to make an appointment with Dr. Zuri Morel, who ordered a second colonoscopy and said,
"Well, we're going to have to take his colon out."
Michael Joffrey died in 2021. Those last 6 months of his life were so bad, it's motivated his father to try and help make sure other families don't go through what they did.
So the promise that I made to him is that, hey, look, man, I'm going to work really, really hard at trying not to ever have this happen again.
This is also where Dr. Morel's passion lies.
You have a better chance of getting colorectal cancer if you were born in 1990 than if you were born in 1950.
The American Cancer Society says most colorectal cancer starts as a growth in the colon called a polyp. Some polyps change into cancer over time. But if they're caught early and removed, the threat is greatly reduced. Of course, you have to know it's there.
I am king of Wakanda.
The tragic early death of Chadwick Boseman was shocking to most of the world, but not to the doctors who battle colorectal cancer. They've been agonizing over the trend in younger diagnoses. And that's why Dr. Morel believes that while Boseman played heroes in movies, in death, the actor became a real hero.
After he passed, this was the first time I had young men come in on their own volition to be checked. Usually it's with their wives or their significant others who are like, get tested, get tested, get tested. Came in on their own volition because I think that really hit home, that we've seen so many young people, pass from this disease who are healthy people.
So knowing your polyp history, knowing your family medical history, that's what the doctor says you should always keep in mind and try to know. Michael Frierson, by the way, he's trying to raise $200 million to get free colonoscopies to up to 85,000 people who are all younger than 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, and just, thinking about, when I first started talking to Michael Sr., I said, I just want to say, I'm sorry. And he said, no, you know what? I'm not a grieving parent. My son, those last 6 months of his life were rough. I don't want to see him like that. And he just is focused on not having other families experience what he had to experience with his son.
It's his mission. I was going to say, interesting you say that, because that's what I noticed in the piece, that he was so focused and his energy wasn't one of mourning. It was like, I have a purpose and I'm going to serve that purpose.
It's all about the promise that he made to his son.
Yeah. It helps him to also, move forward, not on, but forward.
And can I just say, just listening to him talk to me a little bit about his son, he's just like, he doesn't know anyone who ever met him who just didn't love him and didn't like him. And he's like, he even made a joke. He was like, I have another son, but he's not like him. And we joked, but he just said that, this is